Here back for another update. Very bullish on PulseX. This is going to be a quick video on the PulseChain ecosystem. PulseX, PLS, hex, eHEX, and pHEX. And what we see over here is we're breaking out above this trend line over here, and we actually are breaking out of this wedge. You see how squeezed we were over here? And this is the 3-day time frame, so every candle here represents 3 days of trading. And you see how we perfectly hit the 78.6% fib. Okay, right on the dot. You guys see that? So the market follows Fibonacci to a T. Fibonacci levels. Okay, you see how we perfectly hit wick down to that 786? We just tapped it. We were within a trading range for about a week. And then about 2 or 3 days ago, in pre-New York session, we see a waterfall-like move down here on the small time frame, taking out this equal low sell side liquidity, and you just have this wick towards the 702, and then you rally off from there. Okay, and this move actually looks impulsive right here, so it does look like this is impulsive. You guys see that? If you're 1, 2, 3, coming down for a 4, and then we have a 5 up for your subwave 1 of 1, because we haven't had any impulsive waves yet in the PulseChain ecosystem. And that's actually a very bullish sign, right? Because the coin is so new, you haven't had any impulsive moves up. Because this over here would be your A, your B, and then your C. You have a 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then a 5 down within the C wave. Okay? So it looks like we're breaking out here off of the 786, and we actually see the MACD is turning up here on the daily time frame. You guys see how the MACD has now turned positive, and if we go on the 3-day time frame, you see we're about to have this 3-day MACD cross. You guys see that? Okay, very, very significant. Now you can even take a look at the pattern like this, right? Like a 90 degree or right angle broadening wedge pattern. That's what it's called. And the technical target would be the length from the low up to the high of the pattern. So that would be sitting at 0.5470 for your intermediate technical target, which would be right at the 61.8% fib. Okay. So these 3 targets over here would be the intermediate targets. Now, if you're a trader or if you want to scalp this, yeah, you can TP at the fibs, but I wouldn't short the macro on this because we haven't even had the impulsive wave move up yet. We're starting that now. You guys see that? Because all of these moves over here were corrective. So I definitely do think that we are gonna breach the upper bounds of this trading range that we've been in for over a year. And yeah, so I think it's going to do very well. Okay, so this is PulseX. Everything is looking good on PulseX. What bulls would want to see here going forward is a push above these 2 levels over here on the 4-hour time frame. So once we get a 4-hour push above 40s2438 and 40s2579, then there's no doubt that this over here is the macro bottom. No doubt. Once we get a 4-hour push above these 2 levels here, okay, and then you would go on to hit your measured technical target of this pattern, which would be the 618, at 404940. Okay, so this is PulseX, very bullish. We can take a look at PulseChain as well. Okay, so this is PulseChain over here. And same thing, right? 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, and then you have a 5-wave move to the downside. I'll actually show you guys over here. Right over here. I lost the drawings that I did, but I'll show you the best I can. So this is your A, your B, and then your C wave, right? And then this is your bullish descending broadening wedge for your ending diagonal, right? You have a 3 down in your A, three up in your B, and then 5 down in your C. Just like that. And then within the 5th wave, you have an ending diagonal, but it's in the shape of a bullish descending broadening wedge. You guys see that? Perfect 5 waves here. Boom. And you see how we dipped? We dipped under this low over here. This over here would be considered your manipulation zone. You see, we didn't actually stay that long down below this last all-time low. So this was our all-time low here, disregarding the airdrop, right? We only stayed below that level for about a week. Yeah, about a week and a half. So not so long, right? This over here was our manipulation zone, and now we're seeing a nice pop up above it. So it's likely we're going to go ahead and see the breakout above this bullish descending broadening wedge, and we're actually going to go for that breakout. Okay, because this does look like a completed 335 flat pattern, and we do see that the MACD is turning up into positive territory from the 0 line. And we also have bullish divergence, right? Consecutive lower lows, although you're making consecutive higher lows on the MACD along with the RSI. You guys see that? Consecutive lower lows on the price, yet we're printing higher lows on the RSI. And it's still, the RSI is within this range here. Okay, I do expect it to come back up to these highs. Right here. Okay, so going forward, what PulseX bulls or what PulseChain bulls would want to see is a push above EQ, which would be the 50% and the 61.8% on the 4-hour, so we can confirm that this in fact is the bottom. Okay, so a push above 4076 and 4341 in order to confirm that this over here is our low, right? And now we're going to go ahead for our expansion to the upside out of this 1 year long range. You see how long we've been in this range for? Like I said in all my previous videos, time versus price matters, right? 477 days. So yeah, I do think we're going to come up towards the 70.2 to 78.6% fib for our intermediate target. But like I said for PulseX, don't recommend shorting on the macro. Maybe you can skim some profits, but I would say hold your spot bag, not financial advice, for the actual breakout above the highs, right? because remember, this hasn't done any impulsive move up yet, and we're potentially starting that impulsive move now. Okay, so this is Pulse. I showed you PulseX bullish, PLS is bullish. Let's take a look at HEX. And yeah, this is pHEX, and it looks like it's bottomed actually, right over here. So going forward with HEX, we just want to see a break above 205,665 in order to confirm the bottom is in, and that's actually not that far away. It's just this line over here. So once the price pops back above into this trading range that we have here, then it's likely we can say that the bottom is in. Okay? You see, same thing as PLS, right? 3 down in your A, 3 up in your B, 5 down within your C. It's all liquidity bonded. It's all the same structure. It's just that you have the B and the C wave a little bit extended or retracted more, right? It's the same structure but different lengths. So this is a bullish descending broadening wedge within the 5th wave of your C wave, and we're already seeing the breakout. Now we just want to push back into the range so we can confirm that this is a low over here, and we're going to go in for that expansion to the upside. This is actually looks like a little bit of a Wyckoff accumulation range, and any price action below the bottom of the range would be considered your manipulation. Okay, so you have your accumulation. So it's actually the power of 3 setup, right? You have your accumulation, right? Your manipulation. And then you have your expansion. Okay. So now over here, right? Within this zone, everyone thinks it's a shitcoin and it's going to go to 0. But the smart money know that this is our manipulation level. This is the optimal entry. And we're still within that level over here. So we're closing in on that window of opportunity. This is the best place to enter, not financial advice. So you can get in with the anticipation of our 3rd phase, which would be expansion, right? So you have accumulation, manipulation, expansion / distribution. Okay, so very bullish, and we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at HEX. Now I know the PulseChain community or PulseChain maxis, they don't like when I look at HEX. But I'm going to look at it anyway because I feel like it is an integral part of the Richard Heart ecosystem, because we can gauge the health of the overall ecosystem and sentiment, right, towards Richard Heart projects. And what do we see over here? We see that the price is within oversold territory, which is determined by the Fibonacci support levels. So remember, whenever you reach in towards the 70.2 to 78.6% Fib region in the market, especially in crypto, that means you're very oversold, right? And what are we doing within this 702-786 region? We're printing in ending diagonal, where the price gets squeezed and the price oscillates back and forth, which would be marking the end of a trend. For example, in an uptrend, it would be considered an ending diagonal if the waves overlap like this within the 5th wave, because it's marking the end of your trend. Similarly to the downside, which we see over here, right? And while we're printing this ending diagonal on the monthly time frame, we have a MACD cross. So we have the trend the macro trend shifting, right? Do you guys see that? Right, so ending diagonal within the 702-786 region, which means that we're oversold and the trend is coming to an end. And we have a monthly MACD cross to support our bullish bias for more confluence. Okay, so now we would be taking a look at the 50%, but excuse me, we'd be taking a look at the 50%, and but from my experience, knowing how the algos like to work in crypto, we want to be aiming primarily for the 702-786, right around 0.079 to 0.13. Okay, no guarantee it comes up here. I'm just saying it's more likely, because this is just the way the algos work in crypto. Worst case scenario, it comes down towards the lower fibs at the 50 and the 61.8% fib. Ultra best case scenario, or ultra bullish scenario, would be that this is just a bullish descending broadening wedge, and we're going to have continuation up, right? And this would just be a macro ABC, and then we would come down from there. Okay, I'm just showing you all the scenarios. Either scenario is bullish, and it shows that we're about to have a relief rally soon on HEX, and we're about to have a bullish run on the PulseChain ecosystem. Okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. Before I go, I'm going to cover ink, because I know I didn't cover that yet. So we'll take a look at ink here. Okay? So we'll take a look at ink here. Thankfully, I didn't delete my drawings here like I did with PLS and PulseX, but yeah, this is ink, and we've bottomed. And for extra confirmation of that, bottom, I want to see a push above $2.43 and $2.59. Okay, these would be all the fibs that you can take a look at. Just a push above the EQ at $2 would be bullish. And if we stay above EQ, okay, so this is a incentive token. You have a 5-wave move to the upside, 5 down in your A, you have your B, and then a ending diagonal within the C wave, same as PLS and pHEX. Okay, we came down to the 61.8% fib perfectly. You guys see that at $1.37. So you need to take a look at your Fibonacci support levels. You can't just say, oh, the price is going to come down here or here or here. You need to have some sort of reference, and you use that reference, and that reference would be the Fibonacci level. So if you just take a fib from this low over here in December 2023 up to this high in March 2024, we came down to the 618. And now we're breaking out. Okay, so everything is looking primed here on the PulseChain ecosystem. Everything is looking good. It's actually front running ETH. ETH is still at the lows right now. Okay, we can take a look at ETH. We can take a look at ETH over here. Let me see here. Okay, so this is ETH over here, and we're extremely oversold here on the daily. So if I go ahead and take out the daily RSI, you see every time we've hit this level on ETH, it has marked a very significant turning point in the market, right? This looks like we have a sideways wave 5, right? You see how we have a sideways like price action before turning up to new highs? This is no different over here. I feel like we've already had price capitulation, or you could say, yeah, price capitulation. Now what we have over here is what's called time capitulation. So instead of continuing to dump lower, what it does instead is it just chops at the lows and makes many people think it's going to go lower. And this is actually the worst time to sell, is when it's just chopping at the lows. Because you don't know if it's going to break up from here, right? And especially after this daily RSI print over here at 21, you definitely don't want to be selling here, right? So it's really nice to see PulseChain ecosystem front running, and that would be really good for the rest of the cycle. And here's your 3-day MACD cross. So everything, it looks like it's aligning. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know. And if you want to stay updated with the PulseChain ecosystem analysis, then definitely click the link in the description below to join the Discord. Peace out and take it easy. See you in the next one.